Hi, and welcome to another episode of You Haven't Seen What? A married couple's quest to rectify the wrongs of their partner never seen culturally relevant movies. I'm Joelle.
I'm Parry.
And this is a very special episode because it's the Crime Files. Dun dun dun! MINISODE for Clue. No, nothing to say, Parry?
No, I was all messed up because usually we say, and we're married, and I was going to say, so the little clue card in the envelope tells me, and I just didn't have the opportunity for my brilliant joke.
Maybe I might. Why don't you say, and we're married? And then I could have said, and yes, we are.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I could have done that.
Yeah, you could have done that.
Yeah,
but then you still, thank God you're not trying to screw our marriage up. Or are you?
No.
Subliminally.
Hey, I wouldn't want the podcast to end.
You wouldn't want your dad to beat you.
No, my dad, he would be...
he would be mad.
Yeah, he would.
Silent treatment for the rest of your life. Although that shouldn't be the reason why you don't divorce me. Although it should weigh heavily on your conscience.
We're staying together for my father.
And the podcast that has 1 billion listeners.
And of course the cats.
And, the cats are staying with me, so...
I meant the cats are listeners.
Oh, the cats are the listeners. Nice. So, yeah, we're doing Clue as a mini-sode because, who doesn't want to talk about who you're going to bed, dead, and wed? And, yeah, why not talk more Clue? Because Clue's amazing. So, if you haven't seen it by now, shame the fuck on you. And you should really go ahead and see it in its comedic geniusness. Or play, like, a Clue game. What's the new Clue game that I saw? They have a Dungeons and Dragons version of Clue now.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That could be interesting.
And there was one other one that I saw that they had a version of, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Well, I know some recents that I think we even mentioned in the episode are Bob's Burgers and Golden Girls with the Who Stole the Cheesecake.
Exactly. Well, now they have Dungeons and Dragons. I wonder if that's because of Stranger Things.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. Anyway, but so... buy a version of Clue. One of them works for you. And play that thing and watch that movie.
Now, we recently released a full Clue episode, but we recorded it some time ago.
We did.
And a line that you say in it is, I would kill to see it on the big screen. And being as we have since then seen it on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Who did you kill?
Hush. So we did. We saw the revival at Silver Spot, and I'm going to fucking name check them here because good for them for bringing back this, super duper classic. And there were like 10 of us in that theater. So I was down to see that too, because Clue sometimes is just a sleeper hit that you like never, and it was never really a hit. It's just this cult movie.
It is truly
that has this following.
Some of the people had brought their children, too, I guess, to introduce them to it. There were a few questionable moments for the small children, but overall, I think pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty clean.
I saw it as a smaller child.
Just lots of murder, that's all.
Whatever. Murder.
They've seen worse on their iPhone games. So.
Probably. But what was really interesting is that also I think what we've heard, we've heard something else, too, for Clue. So now we know that Jason Bateman is going to star in Clue 2. So Ryan Reynolds, Jason Bateman. All right, so the cast is not looking too shabby for this remake. Just make some good choices regarding the females, please.
And regarding the plot.
Yes, that whole thing. Make good choices. I'm very worried.
Yeah, don't turn it into like a... super modern spy thriller where you have to have the plans to the spy plane or some crazy ass garbage.
I don't know. I'm worried.
Now, Bateman, isn't he supposed to, he's writing potentially too, right?
I think so.
Because he's had some huge success lately with Ozark.
Yes, I know, which is why I feel like maybe because he's of that age, like they might get this correct where this is like a beloved thing for them, and they don't want to fuck it up. So I'm really, if anybody knows him and wants to tell him that, I think that's very important. If I have a chance to meet him, I will tell him that. Please do not fuck this up for me because forget it. I will haunt you for the rest of your life. I'll be like Andy Dufresne in fucking Shawshank, and I'll be writing you a letter every goddamn week telling you how much you fucked up this movie if you do not do it correctly. So don't make me go Andy Dufresne on you.
So kind of like when we met Jason Segel and I thanked him for not fucking up the Muppets.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. The Muppets were never really a big part of my life.
Yeah, he could have screwed up the Muppets, so I'm glad he did not.
Well, they say all good things come to an end.
What's that got to do with this show?
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen it, so there's that.
It was obviously made by someone who loved and appreciated the originals, and so same thing. Hopefully we get that same level of let's update it, bring it to a new audience without trying to diverge too much into something else or something too different.
Okay, that's fair. And another awesome thing is that we actually got to talk to Christopher Lloyd and ask him about his role in Clue and how he felt about that entire experience. And he just got this wave look over his face that was just like this pensive happiness. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, he kind of looked up a little, looked off and smiled and was just like, yeah, that... to be still so fairly new in the industry at the time and to get to work with that cast, and you could tell it really hit some nostalgia for him.
Yeah, and it definitely had impacted him the entire experience.
Heart memories precious.
And, from everything that we read, that was a pretty, tight set for the most part. A little bit of drama, but not too much drama is what I remember reading. But yeah, he was really enamored at the fact that we even brought up Clue and the whole thing.
When we got the picture, we were dressed in Clue garb.
Yeah, I was Mrs. White. You were Mr. Green, as usual.
Because, even though he couldn't hold the pipe as Professor Plum, that we attempted, but I think he didn't want for any other insinuations to be made from him holding that pipe.
Correct,
so he
correct.
politely declined, but,
Correct.
was friendly about it. But it still is a very fun picture.
Yes, it is. And we're going to keep meeting them, hopefully. I mean, who do I really want to meet that's still alive? I don't know. Who do you really want to meet that's still alive out of that cast?
Michael McKean.
Well, of course you want to meet Michael McKean, because Better Call Saul.
For multiple reasons and multiple roles. David St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap as well, but just because I think he'd be a really interesting person to talk to. And from the pieces I've seen of his interview in the Clue documentary that's out there, that holds true, that he's very interesting in that interview
not
too.
Not quite out there yet. I think they're still trying to get a hold of Christopher Lloyd to tape a segment, but I'm not sure that they have or that they'll be able to.
Right.
I mean, I kind of want to meet Leslie Ann Warren. Michael McKean's definitely on there.
I think Lee Ving would be a riot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's actually pretty fucking possible because Fear is still touring.
Yeah.
So that's more possible than you actually think.
And you've already met Tim Curry, so...
Yeah, already met the Big Cheese. And then, of course, Con and Brennan are dead, sadly, because those two, I mean, I don't think Con is who I'd really want to meet.
Truly, deeply, yes.
Truly, deeply.
I think Leslie Ann Warren would be interesting to talk to as well. So.
She would, I think.
And Martin Mull. So there we go, whole cast.
She would tell us a lot about that corset.
So pretty much anyone on the cast who's still on this earth you would like to speak with.
Yeah, I would, because I think that, there are movies and then there are movies. There are casts and then there are visionary casts and casts that probably don't get the recognition. And I feel like this cast is one of those casts. I mean, the new movie coming out, Knives Out, you've remarked to me so many times that looks so Clue-esque.
It does.
And I cannot wait to see it because I hope it really lives up to it.
I also think that it is... Rian Johnson's kind of strong area is this type of film. So I feel like, whereas maybe people didn't appreciate some of his work in Star Wars, I think they will more appreciate this type of film. I think it's more his deal.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, I like Last Jedi.
I know you did, and that could be an entire podcast. In fact, it is a large part of our interview on Core World News, an excellent Star Wars podcast.
It is. They give you weekly updates of everything Star Wars.
Yep, from the casual fan to the true deep cut, they cover it all, and they're really great. So.
Yep. So shout out to Core World
and Adam who interviewed us.
Yep. And All right. So, I mean, that's a good segue, I guess, to Bed, Dead, and Wed. Is it? I
Should we
don't
do
know.
a Star Wars Bed, Dead, Wed at some point?
That's tough. Maybe we should have done one with Adam. Maybe we could still do one with Adam.
Yeah, I think so.
And a co-host and everybody. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll. Let's see. But, yeah. Who are you? Oh, yeah. So, our mini-sode, we try to be light and fluffy. Sometimes Parry drags me down into a deep, dark hole. In Buffalo Bill style, and we go into the many meanderings of, I don't know, diatribes, but I'm intending to be light and fluffy. So in the scheme of being light and fluffy, we present Bed, Dead, and Wed, also known as, is it Marry, Fuck, Kill?
I think that's the traditional title for it. If you want to be on the more blunt side.
I mean, whatever. So, who are you betting, Parry, from the Clue cast? Who are you betting? There's only one real choice here.
It's always so loaded.
It's only one choice here.
Well, I'm going to say that given the level of experience, I'm sure that Miss Scarlett is going to be the
your bet chat.
We would probably that would be the most fun, I think.
Really? No, I go for another side of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I pick Mrs. White. If I'm gonna bet anyone, it is gonna be the Black Widow. To see if I can survive it. I'm just saying.
Well, this is exactly why she's not my Mary choice, and I would be afraid betting her too.
No. She's not my Mary choice, but I like to live dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going for Mrs. White. She's sassy, and I like it.
Yeah, and I think she's probably wearing leather underneath that outfit.
She might be.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's usually the ones who seem the most proper that are the wildest.
Apparently, I don't know. So, Mrs. Scarlett for you, huh? Redhead.
Yeah, and like I say, just she's very experienced.
As you turn 10 shades of red. Wow, right now. Wow. You want to bed the madam. Okay.
I mean, quite honestly, none of them are my type, but.
Oh boy, here we go. And not even calling cab with all the boobaliciousness.
I mean, that portion is anybody's type, but
who are you killing? Who's deading?
I'm often Colonel Mustard.
Oh my God, so am I.
Really?
Really? Why are you off in Colonel Mustard? I did too.
Because you know
Martin
what?
Mull, wow.
If you're cutting in on Terry Garr, you really deserve to be bumped off because
are you fucking serious?
I've always
right now?
thought Terry Garr was fabulous, and when he starts like cutting in on her from Michael Keaton and Mr.
Really,
Mom,
right now?
Yeah. So Colonel Mustard.
That's really it. So had they not split up, none of this shit would have gone down. So that's why you got to kill him. Had they not split up, none of this shit would have ever gone down. That was his suggestion.
Oh, for them to all split up.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're right.
That's right. He was the fucking instigator. He is the problem child.
You don't think anyone else would have suggested it?
He is the problem child. He is the instigator. He is the one who likes to challenge authority. He is the one that's got to go. That is the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Just saying. So who are you marrying? Come on. Give me a break. Are you marrying Christopher Lloyd?
No.
You're not marrying Doc?
No, I'm not. I am
or
not.
Professor Plum?
I'm not carrying Doc Brown over the threshold.
Okay.
So.
But who are you marrying?
Well, I think, you got to go for a singing telegram girl. Because,
really?
Because, she's got a great singing voice. So it's.
Your singing telegram.
But she does die. So this gets right back into our necrophilia territory from the Silence of the Lambs minisode.
No more necrophilia. Oh no. Lies. This is before our Silence of the Lamb minisode.
Oh shit.
Yep. This is our third minisode, not our fourth minisode. So that's our fourth.
I have just bleeped out that section.
Have you just bleeped out that section? Bleep.
I have.
It's like erasing it from your memory.
You have no idea.
Zero idea about necrophilia and what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm wedding the butler. Obviously, I'm wedding Wadsworth.
Well, he dies too, so.
I mean, I am definitely wedding Tim Curry.
I do.
At least he does in one reality.
No, well, because he wanted to do anything that he could for his wife, and even going along with the blackmail and being wonderful, and he has good intentions until he doesn't. So I feel like I feel like that's who I'm marrying.
Yeah, especially in the cut forth ending that we discuss in the full episode.
Exactly.
But speaking of his wife, there's actually a great line in the film that I never really caught on to until we watched it in the theater.
What's
and,
that?
you know, they keep mentioning communism as a red herring throughout. But whenever he talks about his wife and why they were being blackmailed, it's because she had friends that were socialists. And everyone gasps. And it's just very interesting how this people as a whole being disturbed by the concept of socialism has come right back into front and center in our current political
Which is
realm.
really funny because lots of westernized nations are socialist nations.
Mm-hmm.
P.S. By the way, do your research.
But it's just an interesting thing in the context of the film here, too, because there's so much discussion of America and American attitudes and American fears.
And Hoover.
Exactly, Hoover.
Hoover.
What does he say if...
John Michael Hoover.
If Hoover's on everybody else's phone, why shouldn't he be on mine?
Correct.
But I think that connection is very interesting, that it brings it right back into being timely with discussions of communism and socialism, because all those things are right back on our plate once again in terms of what we're hearing every day in all kinds of news.
Which is very funny because communism is on one side of the spectrum and socialism is on the other side of the spectrum. But most people think they're on the same side of the spectrum, and they aren't.
They tie them right in together.
Not the same thing.
Because most people have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Oh, so harsh to the white meat.
Many people.
Why don't you just say, just research it?
Yes.
Just research
That's
it.
really what it comes down to is do your research.
Knowledge.
So.
Knowledge is power and shit.
And I'm sure you might get a few emails about that conversation where someone has decided they can tie it all together. But
I mean, I can't tie it all together because it's the government and it's centralized power, so I can tie them together.
Indeed.
But I'm saying idealistically, they're on two different sides of the spectrum.
Right.
So there's that. Yep. Socialism is nothing to be afraid of.
But not a red herring, apparently.
No, communism, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. I was like, what? Gaslighting me?
Or as Tim Curry says, a red herring.
Listen, this is going to be no, that's what a Jamaican would say, no?
Well, he says it in the film that way.
Does
He
he?
like cuts up, but you're right. A Jamaican would definitely say what?
What?
What would a Jamaican?
No, you said it. Yeah. I'm not saying it.
Oh, you're not gonna give us your
Nope.
best Jamaican?
Definitely not.
Joelle is, by the way, if you don't listen to the podcast, Jamaican.
Yes, I am. We drop our H's a lot. It's a true story. But yeah, this is a mini-sode. So let's make it mini.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about with Clue and anything else that we haven't discussed?
Well,
Any other thoughts?
I did want to add that when we were recently on the plane and we were flying out to do our live episode at ASC.
You're an asshole right now. I know exactly what you're going to say. You're such a jerk.
We mentioned in the main episode that Joelle has this at all times on all of her media devices. And so the first thing she does while she's working is put on Clue on her phone.
Well, I was doing a craft project while on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you were indecisive about when we were taking, I don't know what we were doing. We were doing something. And I was like, all right, well, let's just listen to something, anything. And so we decided to go ahead and listen to Clue on the plane.
So I didn't want to listen to it. I was doing something else and I just didn't want to hear. So I was watching it without the sound. And what was really fascinating about that was really getting to watch the body language of the actors and how really great it is. And it gave me a whole new perspective. Like I had picked up on it before, but really getting to see, especially in that last reenactment scene where Wadsworth is running all over, showing what everyone did, just not only his body language, but everyone's, but especially Tim Curry's, is really astounding. And, you know, we talk about acting with your, we talk about acting with your whole body and your body language, but it's really interesting sometimes to watch something where there's a lot of physical humor going on without the sound. And you really do pick up on a lot more from it. So that was really cool, actually. And also the blocking was really superb. Everyone's position in all of those scenes and the way they're arranged and the way that they move within the frame of the scene was really well plotted out. And so I see why they had to stick so closely to Jonathan Lynn's directing, because it was actually really tightly structured in how everyone needed to move and where they needed to be, or it would have been extremely hard to edit, I imagine, if people had sort of ad-libbed what they were doing and where they were going to be, because all these pieces really had to fit together pretty precisely.
They did have to fit it together pretty precisely. I thought you were going to out me on the plane.
Oh, what you were making on the plane?
No, I thought you were going to out me what I was doing while I was watching Clue on the plane. While you didn't have the sound on.
Oh, the fact that you were doing the entire movie because you just cannot fucking help it? No, because I do that with a few movies too. So of course I'm not going to make fun of you for that.
So I didn't even realize you're doing like your own shadow cast.
It was the Joe cast over there for sure. The Joe Clue.
Listen, man, I don't know what to tell you. I've watched that movie so many times. Well, watching it in the theater, I found it hard not to fall asleep. Not because of anything except for the fact that I was so relaxed. And then I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm falling asleep. Wake up. And I was like trying to, and it was just glorious. I mean, seeing it in any form, I think I know it so well that I almost didn't have to see it on the big screen, except for the fact that I saw details in there that I had never seen before in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like very, very like intricate set pieces and like things that you don't really see. They have a pretty big screen TV, but I don't really see them on the big screen TV.
Right.
When was the last time we watched them on the big TV? No, I guess we did to do the movie. But even then, like on the big, huge, ginormous theater screen, I saw so much more than I ever would have. Like Mrs. Peacock's pin.
Is a peacock pin.
Is a peacock pin. I never realized that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one.
I don't know. Why did I never realize she had like feathers coming all out of her hat and everything? That's even
for sure
on the small screen, but it just stood out. But the evidence, you can actually see like the photos and what's in the evidence on the table.
Yes. You can. So if you ever see it, I suggest a big screen for a Clue. And now I think we're on to Stump the Movie Guy.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay. Too bad. I'm going to ask Parry 2 questions. They're questions that I have from a pack. And the pack I bought, I didn't look these questions up. I'm just choosing questions.
Random this time.
Sort of at random. And there are 2 of them. So not that I ever think that I'm actually going to stump him, because these aren't like, hard Jeopardy movie questions, but whatever. And he's too much of a...
Even the Jeopardy movie questions often.
What is it, a filmophile? What are you? If you like
Cinephile.
Movies? Cinephile. Sorry. Filmophile. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Cinephile sounds like a condition, and it kind of is.
Listen, I'm tired. I don't know what to say. Listen, West Coast, East Coast. What coast am I on? In Beverly Hills Cop, how did Axel... And wait. Let's back up. Don't forget to pause after I say the question, because we have to let our audience figure out if they can answer it or not, okay?
That's not the magic of editing. I can't just put in a gap.
You could. Shut up. Let's leave a natural gap.
Okay.
Let's let them hear us breathe.
Room tone.
Exactly. Sorry. In Beverly Hills Cop, how did Axel disable Taggart and Rosewood's unmarked police car so that they wouldn't follow him?
It's not an A, B, and C?
Nope. Come on, man.
I know it wasn't a meatball hoagie. I know
it
wasn't zucchini.
Disable the
It
car.
wasn't,
Have I stumped?
It wasn't salt in the gas. No, I know exactly what it was. It was a banana in the tailpipe.
You're a fucking asshole. Are you playing possum?
A little bit, yeah. I was trying to make it more exciting.
Exciting, right? Question 2 for you.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie Leon.
In the movie what?
Leon or The
Professional.
Professional.
The Professional. Okay, yeah.
Oh,
I thought
Jesus.
you said Liam.
Leon.
Please, hold your applause.
Deep cut back to Midnight Madness. Who plays Matilda, a young girl trying to avenge the killing of her family? That's a giveaway, dude.
It's Padme Amidala.
You're eating so much shit right now. Anytime you want to
I
answer
was
the
leaving
question.
an appropriate gap there.
Oh,
for everyone.
yeah, whatever.
That was Natalie Portman.
Yes, it was Natalie Portman. God damn it.
Who also played Padme in the Star Wars prequels, which you have not seen.
I have not seen. You're ridiculous.
That was specifically mentioned for that
God,
reason. But.
Oh my God, you're such a jerk.
Well, on the subject of trivia, I have a curiosity about some trivia in the film that I don't think we've ever seen if this is true.
Which is?
Well, you said the name of the company that produced Clue in England originally was Waddington's, right?
Hold on. It's on this sheet.
Okay.
So hang on. Yes, Waddington's and then Hasbro.
And the butler character is not part of the original game, correct?
Correct.
So do you think Wadsworth comes directly from Waddington's? Is it possible that that's where they got his name from? Was from the producer of the game? Potentially?
I don't know.
Possibly? Maybe?
Wait, that's not the producer of the game. That's the store that carried it.
Oh, well, either way,
Pratt was the
it's
producer
part
of
of
the
the
of the history?
Cluedo/Clue lore.
Who knows? I don't know.
And
That's
Jonathan
a good question.
Jonathan Lynn and John Landis seem like pretty smart guys, so...
I don't know. Who knows? I'm not sure. That's
Okay.
a good question.
Yeah. Anyone
All right.
knows out there?
Cluophiles. Maybe our documentarians will know.
Also, I don't know where the term Cheshire Cat originates necessarily, but we always talk about
Alice?
Tim Curry. I think it might be the first use of it, but we always talk about Tim Curry having a Cheshire Cat smile.
Cheshire.
And he was actually from Cheshire, England. I did not know that's where he was born, so I thought that's a fun little connection, coincidence.
You're funny. Any other coincidences you'd like to make?
Nah, that's all I really got, except for, we finally figured out Howard Hessman, who was the evangelist and police chief in the film.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes, yeah, I was always like, I think that's what he's from, and from Head of the Class, and,
Head of the Class.
Yeah.
I watched that shit. That TV show was legit.
But yeah, I don't know where he is these days, but yeah,
Do you ever wonder? Something the KRP. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, WKRP.
I think it's Do You Ever Wonder What Became of Me, or What Happened to Me, and that
very
rhymes
good.
with Cincinnati. So
There we are.
Wondered whatever became of me.
Good
Yep.
job.
I think we have some of those on VHS cassette in the other room.
We do have them. Drummer Cat on cassette. That's right. Parry is Drummer Cat.
Oh, have we never told the story of Jamaica Cat?
I'm not telling the story.
You don't want to tell the story?
Nope. If you meet us and you mention it, then we'll tell you the story.
Yeah. If you just ask, what is the tale of Jamaica Cat?
Drummer Cat.
Said with a French-Canadian accent.
Because it was a French-Canadian accented person saying it to you. That's the best day of my life. Like, I don't even think our wedding was as good as that day.
Wow.
That moment has lived in infamy forever and ever and ever.
Well, we're going way too deep into
Deep cuts.
into jokes that you cannot know where they came from.
Until you meet us. So there's that. Maybe we'll secretly have Jummer Cats on us.
Ooh, yeah.
There we go. Secret swag. So yeah, I'm ready to wrap this episode up. How do you feel about that?
I think so. I don't think I have.
This is a mini-sode, not a full-length episode. Mini episode. Sorry.
I didn't realize it was a musical episode as well. Of
I
course, they
don't-
all are with Joelle.
I'm
so.
pretty fucking delusional at this point. Hashtag sitting in this chair too long.
Yep, it's a multiple episode day.
Slave driver.
Interesting term considering our both our race, ethnicity, background.
Do you think I said it on accident?
I don't think you do anything by accident.
Exactly. No, that's not true. I do a lot. So yeah, same. Oh my God, can I speak? Shit. I'm so tired. Shameless self-promo, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. If you rate and review and subscribe to our podcast, other people will find us as well. Hey, sharing is caring. Check out our website, youhaven'tseenwhatmovie.com. I have updated and added on all of our crime files, stuff that we have so far. And I went back to those episodes that Parry neglected and made sure that they're all updated now. So all those links you were looking for, couldn't find, we added them up. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
You gonna say something?
Nope.
Trying to defend yourself?
Nope.
Trying to give justification?
Nope.
You doing a dissertation?
Nope.
Okay. And please be sure to check us out on social media, Insta, Facebook, Twitter at You Haven't Seen What Movie. And let us know what movies you might want us to review in the Crime Files. Or do Bed, Dead, and Wet, I guess. So yeah, let us know any movies that you'd like us to go ahead and review or do Bed, Dead, Weds on. And that's all we have today. So remember,
Be kind.
rewind.
So I got no final thing except for the fact that
I didn't say bye.
Jesse. Oh, bye.
Dying bye.
Yep, Jesse came in and reminded me that, even though we recorded Silence of the Lambs stuff earlier, I failed to mention that it is the cat that actually helps Clarice solve the case by meowing and pointing out the sewing room that helps her connect what Buffalo Bill is up to. So really, it was a cat that was the hero of Silence of the Lambs.
That's right. Cats rock. Meow.
That will be 1 + 1 + 2 + 1, not 1 + 2 + 1 + 1.